Was good, was good, was good. You're back into the JR Collins feed. Now, I got a story for you guys. And this story, guys, has nothing to do with Mordecai. This is totally different. Remember, this is what I do. Occasionally, I'll be putting out like stories that has nothing to do with the previous one. That is why Mordecai story is named episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll continue on. And after this story, depending how I tell it, I might end up redoing the other ones because I think I went a little too deep with the other ones. Anyways, don't forget, if you like the story, thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't forget to hit the little ding button, subscribe, and hit the little ding button for some notification and stuff like that. The beautiful thing about this, just let you know, I'm not sponsored by nobody, so you're not gonna be getting no commercials or anything like that. You could just let this shit play, do your own thing, cause obviously it's just fucking me talking. You know, there's nothing specific here for you to watch. So, if you want to sit there and watch me, that's fine too. Thank you very much. I'll appreciate it, and I'll appreciate your time, spending the time watching this. Now, this story's name. Oh, before I go into names and whatnot, something that I always say every time when I put stories out, it is a story. It just came spoop out of my head. Of course, some of it will kind of link up to like history or something like that. It'll mention a certain group of people or certain religion or something like that. Remember, it is a story. You also have to have an imagination as you're listening to this to pretty much create either the fight scene, the running scenes, the shooting scenes, whatever I'm talking about. You need imagination for this. Okay? Now, let's go ahead without further ado. I'm talking too much and get into this shit. This story's name is the Middlemist Clan, the last of the evolving humans. Now listen to this shit, right? There was this clan name. This clan name is Middlemist, and I would probably put them around the 12, maybe the 1300s, something like that, like far back, maybe 200-300 years from now. They started off on South Korea. They were like in South Korea. That's where their little clan was. It was pretty big. It was a peaceful little clan. The motherfuckers the family did not know how to fight really. Yeah, they had a few warriors and stuff like that. Cause you know, way back when, to go hunting, to go do your basic stuff or protect the village against like bandits, like small bandits, not like big armies or anything like that. Small bandits. There was a couple of them that was pretty knowledgeable in some fighting and stuff like that. Now, as time started progressing, fucking South Korea started like getting into war with North Korea, like, you know, sword fighting, and they come to their clan and they're like, we need men, blah blah. You know how it used to be way back when a day. They'll come to your clan and be like, you need to donate men to the emperor or to the kingdom or whatever. So of course now they started losing a shit ton of family member. They're like, you know what? Fuck this, we need to leave. And we're not really fighters. So they decided to leave, you know. And at that time, their numbers was quite a bit, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 of them. There wasn't a lot, obviously. It was pretty big, but it wasn't a lot. So they left. They migrated to North Korea, like the end of North Korea. And when they migrated to North Korea, same shit happened. Like, hey, you guys need to donate to the emperor or whomever, whoever's the big king or the king, queen, whatever the fuck at that time. And they donate a few people and they're like, holy shit, we can't do this. We need to move on again. So they move on even further. And as they move on, keeps happening. Their clan, of course, started kind of getting smaller. And then not to mention now, since they don't have much warriors no more, when they get attacked by bandits, it was brutal. A lot of them end up starting to die. Now the chef, that's what they call the chief of the clan. Now the chef. And by the way, it is spelled CHE''F. Chef. Not, I'm sure you could put it together. Anyways, so now they're like, the chef was like, you know what? Fuck this. We're done. We're done with this bullshit. Okay? We are the Middlemist Clan, and we will be the strongest human that ever exists and ever live. And trust, they did. Now they started training their kids and their people. They started training, and when they mate and everything, they don't mate outside of the clan. They don't give a fuck. They don't mate outside the clan, and they also mate like the strongest warrior with the strongest woman warrior type of thing to breed the biggest, the better genes. And also too, they started eating the cleanest food, the best of the best. And to be honest, as they started like training themselves and educate themselves and what works better for this and that, they started having their doctors or physician, whoever they have, to like, they have a group of people that literally studies that kind of thing. If you mate with the strongest warrior, is it good? If you mate with someone outside, how does that bloodline come? Like, they started doing studies by themselves and experimenting with things that at that time motherfuckers wasn't even thinking about, as they started growing and growing and growing and growing, they evolved. Because you have to understand something. Humans, us as humans, even though we think we didn't evolve, I believe we did. But we evolved a different way. Since we have cars, we're not walking all the time, we're not running all the time, we're not hunting anymore. Our physical body doesn't need to evolve. We evolve up here. With them, they evolve in both. Up here and with their own physical body, because they never stop the hunting, they never stop training vigorously. So they evolved to where one person, like their top chieftain, their top warrior, could run about 25 miles an hour non-stop for at least 5 minutes before he could stop completely and be like, oh shit, I am out of breath. A 15-year-old with bare minimum training could pick up a 200-pound man on one hand and hang him in his legs. That's how strong a 15-year-old at that time. I'm talking about with minimal training, not like brutal training. And I'm talking about like he's one of the like average or top motherfuckers. No, just an average 15-year-old in their village, in their clan, who's basically they would consider the weakest of them. That's how that little motherfucker was. So now by that time, remember, as I'm talking, you know what I mean, training is going on and all that shit is going on. They ended up migrating to China. And when they migrated to China, they found themselves in the deep woods of mountains of China. They pretty much took that motherfucker. Everyone who walks in there, they felt like they were being watched. They had called that that forest, the devil forest. They give it like they thought like ghosts was in there or something like that, because these guys was very, 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 very secretive. And then when the emperor of China, whatever, started really conquering everything, they wanted to know who the fuck was in there. They sent thousands of soldiers in there. They fucked up. The Middlemist Clan wiped the shit ton of them out, and they fucking left. They wiped. I think at that time the emperor sent like, I would say maybe 2,000 soldiers to go to the woods to really find out what was in there, right? All of them. When I mean by all of them, they made sure, because they were pissed. They were mad. They were angry. And they were training so much, and they were just angry at the whole world. Like, why? And when they finally found that little mountain area and peaceful area, they were like, you know what? Let's live here. If nobody came look for us, fuck them, whatever, right? So that emperor decided, oh yeah, I'm gonna, destroy the myth of the devil mountains, that there is demons in there, the demon mountains. That's what they used to call it, like the demon mountains. And he sent like 2,000 to 3,000. He sent about maybe 3,000 soldiers, full armed soldiers in the mountain. Let's conquer this mountain. Let's conquer this forest to see what's in there. All of them. What I mean by all of them, not one person went back alive. Not one. Everyone died. And they were like, you know what? Since we killed so many, I am sure they'll send thousands more. And of course, they lost like 2 or 3 people. Mostly by accidents, like we're humans when we fuck up sometimes. So they lost like 2 or 3 people. And after they done killing everyone, they went through the corpses and found their own. And they burned their own. Just that one. They burned them and left the body there. And that was kind of like a sign that the demons caught on fire or something, and then so that they could improve the myth, whatever. And then now from then on, they were like, you know what, fuck this, we're migrating someplace else. And then they migrated towards like so so after all that happened, they decided to migrate someplace else. And also, this is what that clan always does. If every place that they migrate to, don't get them wrong. They don't just, oh, we found a good place, let's just sit our ass there and call it a day. About 2 to 3 of their best warriors heads out. The moment they get somewhere, heads out to find a new place for them to migrate almost instantly. Okay, cool. This area looks good. Look like we can integrate with these people and they won't suspect anything, but we'll keep our trainings and whatnot. And we're just going to migrate here. But at the same time, let's send these 2 or 3 warriors north, south, or wherever to see where we can migrate next, like almost instantly when whatever happened. And if the warriors either come back or they sent back like good news or something like that, they'll be like, okay, so that's where we're gonna go next. Or if, let's say for example, they sent a warrior south and they sent one north, and the one from south came back or the one from north came back, one of them didn't come back first, they there's a specific place that they leave notes for these warriors when they come back. Oh crap, my clan's not here no more, so where did they go? Because remember, around way back when, there was no cell phones, there was no many way of communication. So they started migrating towards Russia a little bit, but Russia was a little racist at that time, and then Russia was, the skin complexion, it would be hard to hide amongst Russian. So they decided to keep going. But Russia is fucking big, people. Like, Russia is huge. If you don't know, check the fucking map. Anyways, so they ended up settling towards like fucking Latvia. I think that's what it's called. Latvia, like Belarus area, kind of next to Ukraine and whatnot. And it was a little bit easier for them to kind of migrate there and enter into the population from there. And then they hear that there was a group of people that is really nice around that time, really nice, very religious, mind their own business, kind folks. And they were the Jews, and they were in Germany. They were like, oh shit. Because remember, the moment they established themselves somewhere, they sent people elsewhere to go find out what's around me, where would be the best place to go establish again. They don't ever stay on one spot. So one of the warriors come back, hey, look, I found this group of people called the Jew. They call themselves Jewish, and they're very religious, and they're really kind folks. They help out when they can. They are very intelligent. They're very business oriented. And to be honest with you, we can enter that religion and migrate ourselves within them. And also, everyone really respect these people. And it was nice. They're very business oriented. So it's really good. Let's enter that place. And also too, they don't involve themselves in wars. They don't, they're very peaceful. So they left around that area by Ukraine, Belarus, fuck, I'm fucking that shit up, folks. I am sorry. Belarus area. They left around that area and they pretty much migrated towards, they didn't really went in straight into like to Germany. They were pretty much, I would say, by the border kind of. And a lot of their people was in Germany, but their main base was like kind of, remember, they kind of have to stay in the run type of shit. Like, so they were around that area. And then as they, for a couple decades, they had some good times there. They ended up staying there for, like I just said, a couple decades. So basically they really, really integrated into the Jewish religion. And then one time when Hitler and his Nazi fucking thing started really going off, and here we go, folks. This is where the real secret of why Hitler was really going after the Jews to find out some stuff. Here we go. So they integrated into the Judaism, and then there was a Nazi group that was basically about to, violated this woman. And one of the guys stood up and beat up the Nazi guys and let the Jewish woman run off. And the guys, the Nazi guys was like, oh, the soldiers, they were like, what the fuck? And they shot at him a couple times, and of course he defended himself, killed a couple of them, and now they started chasing him. And for the longest time they were chasing him, he already sent word to his clan and told the clan that because that's how they are. They are very, very, very cautious. He sent word to his clan. They have their own little secret code word. Sent his secret code word to the fucking clan, and he's like, basically it means I've been discovered. They know that I'm stronger than them. They know that I'm better than them, and they will try to. That code pretty much says everything, And I'm discovered. They're gonna go after the clan. I'm gonna make sure that I make as much ruckus as possible so that they could focus all of their attention in me as you guys try to get away. And of course, now remember, they've been there for decades, and the clan is pretty much scattered all over the place. That was kind of their fuck up, and a lot of them ended up dying that way. That was kind of their fuck up. The clan was pretty much scattered in Germany, and they were like, holy fuck. And of course, at that time, phones was kind of barely getting to thing, and radio and stuff like that. So it was a lot easier to get a hold of everybody, kind of, to come back to the clan and let's fucking run. Fuck everybody, And then he was causing a commotion. Oh my God. He decided, you know what? Fuck it. Since the Nazis are fucking shitty to the world anyways, let me wipe out as much as I can. He killed over 200 plus Nazis by himself. And finally, when he was tired and really, really cornered, there was nothing else he could do. He took his life. And when report got back to the news that the Nazis that they were getting was one person did that much damage, and they were going to the corpses of Nazis. Some of them got killed by bare hands. They were like, it's like a bear attacked this person. His arm was ripped off. His head was spent about a couple times over and facing forward. Like, this was inhumane. What the fuck? And of course, since he was in the run, he never really got to change. He never really got to. And before he died, he said to himself, like, he feels sorry for the Jewish community, because now the Jewish community is going to get really, really attacked, because he still had like the Jewish clothing on, and it's obvious they didn't dress the same. If someone's a Jew, you can tell how they're dressed and stuff like that. And of course, his hair, he cut the little strings, with a knife and shit. He's like, hopefully they don't figure it out. And he took off most of his clothes, but by the body, you can kind of tell he had the little hair, and he just cut it. And of course, since he's in battle and fighting and whatnot, he couldn't. So the Nazis took the body, examined it, did whatever the fuck they want with it, and they couldn't figure out what was up. And that's how the Jews started getting hunted down so fucking much. Now there was a hunt for these motherfuckers, for the Middlemist Clan. They started wiping out Jews like crazy. And again, the Middlemist Clan, of course, help a shit ton of Jews escape and stuff like that. And as they're trying to let them hit them to escape like that, of course, the Nazis was having human experiment, trying to discover how did it happen. Nah, bruh. How it happened is through generation and generation and remaining in the same clan of training and training. That's how it happened, nigga. It wasn't because of some medication or some sort of shot that they took to become superhuman. No, they just evolved. That's all it was. And then, make long story short, that's kind of how they ended up migrating a little bit further towards America. Because the first time they tried to go to America, they had a boat full of Jews to try to travel. That's when the Nazis, was doing all their stuff with the World War and everything was going on. they ended up, the Americans at that time turned that boat around, and of course a decent amount of them ended up getting killed, and of course a shit those Jews that was in that boat ended up getting killed. So they were still in hiding, really good hiding place. They ended up infiltrating the Nazi thing, and one of them sneak into a submarine. And also in history, that will show you the America found a floating random submarine somewhere that was supposed to sunk under the ocean. That's what they interflated under. Two of them sneak into that submarine while the submarine was underwater, killed all the fucking Nazis. Took that submarine back, took a shit ton of Jews in the fucking submarine, and then took the submarine close to shore, let most of the Jews pretty much spread out to America, kind of. And that's how a lot of the Jews got into America with their help. And of course, pretty much all of their clan members was inside that submarine as well. That's how they ended up moving towards America, because they knew America was the most powerful motherfuckers. Nobody's gonna really fuck with them like that. And then they brought the submarine in the middle of the ocean somewhere and let it go on the pretense of it should have sunk, but it didn't. And America ended up finding it. That's how America ended up finding the codes for the submarine, like the codes that the submarines use to communicate with one another. Because of course their communication was encrypted. The code to be able to break their encryptions and everything. And America thought that it was left there to get sunk, but it didn't. It was all by the Middlemist Clan. That was all of them. So that's how they got integrated to America. Now that we're done with this, let's move. I just got to give you a 20-minute of their history and stuff like that. Now let's move on to where, when they got to America, America kind of found out about them. And under pretenses, America was hunting them down like crazy. And by then, social media started evolving, and now there is about maybe 200 of them left in the world. And they were not just in America. There was like maybe 10, 20, 30 of them someplace else in other countries. Now cell phones and phones was good. They were communicating with one another a lot better. So now they could actually really spread out. So when they really integrated into America, they actually they had, while they were in America, they were being hunted down and whatnot. They had two boys. And the boys was about, at that time, when that big incident happened in America, where the whole fucking world was about to come to America to basically nuke America out of existence. All because of a cop's misdeed, like we all know and we hear all the fucking time. Cops shooting niggas left and right, or accidentally shooting some kid, or doing some dumb shit. Sometime, one day, an officer will do the wrong thing to the wrong people, and that's what fucking happened with these two boys, these two twin brothers. Now that we got the history out of the way, those two twin brothers, the name was Jonathan and Marcus. Jonathan and Marcus, one was light-skinned, one was a little bit dark-skinned, kind of, and they didn't have no long hair or anything like that, just normal thing and whatnot. And Jonathan was the oldest brother by 45 minutes, and Marcus was the youngest. And how they when they come out to the world knew about their existence, and they pretty much came out to the world and was asking the world for help due to the fact that they were being hunted down by America, by all kinds of countries, and all blah blah blah. And of course, the population of America and other countries decided, what the fuck, we didn't know about them. We shouldn't be hunting them. These were the last of evolved human beings, and then they pretty much put their secrets out. And of course, the secret is, like I just told you, very, very high intense training, which that type of training would probably kill 95%, not 95, I would say about 80% of people who go through the training. And then after that, you also have to populate with that same person who you went through that training. Like, it needs to stay super close. So there's not exactly a bigger war like that, so people wouldn't really do shit like that. So they came out to the world and they gave their secrets out. And then, of course, America was like, oh, so that's how they did it. Okay, cool. Let's do that training. And, of course, every other continent is training militaries on that standard to try to build an evolved human being, but so that they could finally leave them alone. Here's the secret. That's all we did. That's why we're so strong. That's why we're faster than normal people. That's why we're faster and better than normal people. That's all it is. That we didn't do anything different. We just train hard and make sure we stay within the clan. That's all there is to it. And now, to maintain that training level, before way at age 7 years old, they'll grab two young boys or girls, whomever. They'll drop them somewhere in a continent somewhere, and they need to come back home. They give them the map. They need to come back home. The only time they need to fly or take a car they need to fly or take a boat is when the continent are separated by oceans. That's when you need to take a boat, or that's when you can fly or take a boat. Whatever. These two boys, how the whole world, Canada, fucking China, Russia, and Japan, and all of these motherfuckers, how they wanted to go to war for these two boys to come to America to wipe America out for these two boys. Let's give you a little bit of these two boys things. They dropped them in China. These two boys has been very lucky. They always end up they ass always end up in the wrong place at the right time. Wrong place at the right time. For example, China, the president of China or emperor or whatever they have in China right now, I don't fucking know. They saved China's one of their kid or something like that, almost got kidnapped. And what the boys was doing, they were just, doing their own exercise. They were running. And as they were running, they heard this screaming and they saw these two people with a bag of somebody. They're like, hey, I don't think you should kidnap these people. Of course, they tried to kill them. They defended themselves and they called some cops, and the cops came. They're like, holy shit, this kid belonged to such and such of the big, the Japan's president or whatever they call him over there. And then that's how they were awarded some medal or something like that. So the Chinese people knows about them very well. And then they went to China. Japanese people know. Japanese people knows about them very well. So they went to China. Again, same thing happened. Wrong place at the perfect time. No, they went to South Korea. They snuck into fucking North Korea, and they were supposed to cross North Korea, hopefully without being discovered. And they accidentally got shot by a shooter that was actually trying to take Kim Jong-un out at that time, trying to take Kim Jong-un out. And wrong place at the perfect time. He jumped over a building and the dude shot at the perfect time. And he got shot instead of, Kim Jong-un. So, of course, North Korea, they don't give a fuck. You in my country legally, you dying. And the investigation in camera pointed out, if it wasn't for this kid, Kim Jong-un would have died. Of course, he didn't die because they always wear these armor just in case they get shot. And the armor's not very good for the back of the head or the side of the head, but even the forehead. If you shot him in the forehead, depending on the gun that you shot him with, 80% chance it won't work. You won't kill him. You'll knock him back quite a bit, but not kill. And they shot him at the perfect spot. They shot him at the perfect spot where it grazed inside of him, break one of his ribs and whatnot. So he was kind of fucked a little bit. They arrested the brother. The other brother was pretty much lurking around trying to see if he could save his brother. And then the investigation popped out that he's the one who saved Kim Jong-un's life. Kim Jong-un let him go. And they rewarded him with some medal and stuff like that and let him go. So they keep moving on. Went to China. Same shit. Kidnapping. I don't have to keep going with this. They basically, travel around the world, and each country they ended up saving somebody for either the president or whatever. And in Canada, they apparently busted the biggest kidnapping and human trafficking ring That was in Canada that Canada was trying to hide. Of course, the Canadian, they didn't give them much medal. They give them medals, whatever, but they didn't make it popular. They didn't make it like known. But the Canadian people knew who the real heroes was, who actually broke up this fucking kidnapping ring and stuff like that and whatnot. Now they were in America. They run around all the time. They have plenty of social media. Social media know who they are. Of course, their faces 98% of the time always covered. They don't really know all of their faces because they don't want to be, in social media like that. So as they were running around and whatnot, the two brothers would stop someplace and fight each other. And remember, they're strong, fast, more powerful than most. When they're fighting each other, what you would consider when you look at two fighters just sparring, you're like, oh, they're just sparring. You can tell they're just tapping each other. With them, it doesn't look like that. It looks like they're trying to kill one another. I'm talking about like some hits. You can hear the sound like a couple feet away. Like I'm talking about 30, 40 feet off. Like you hear boom, boom. Like what the fuck? Holy shit. These people are trying to. And they were dressed all in black with body armor on and stuff like that. They kind of look pretty dangerous. And they were fighting each other in this parking lot, just sparring and laughing, whatever. The cop saw them, whoop, whoop, pull up, whatever. And of course, they kind of stopped. They stopped fighting each other and stuff like that. And the cop pretty much just hopped out. Please get down, like he's a threat. He doesn't have no weapon on him, but it kind of looked like he does. He has body armor on and a fucking mask on that could withstand actual bullets, So they look fairly dangerous. And he's like, no, I'm sorry. We're just sparring. Put your hands up, this and that. And the little brother was a little bit more, arrogant and buff up. This and that. Man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why you got your gun out? He did this. He did this on his thing. And then, of course, the older brother, they were trained. Remember what I told you? They were trained. They were highly trained mother kids. So the little brother already anticipated the cop was going to shoot him. And the older brother saw that, and he quickly stepped in front of Marcus. Like, oh no, blah! And he got shot. Remember, the body armor doesn't cover everything. He got shot at the perfect spot to his side right here. The bullet went through and went out, broke his rib, went through, whatnot. Now he's bleeding profusely, and he dropped to the ground. And the cop started, continuing shooting. Thank God the cop didn't fucking aim for the back of his head, because the back of the head, there is not much space. There's not a armor there that really blocked the back of the head, really, because they were thought, do not ever turn your back to your enemy. So Marcus was like, Jonathan, little bro, big brother, Jonathan, what the fuck? And he's reaching out to his brother as his brother was dropping, and the big brother's paying attention to what's happening. And he noticed the other cop was about to start shooting again. It was one cop, one black and white, and the white cop was about to start shooting again. He hurried up and stood up, grabbed his little bro, blam, 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 a couple shots in the back, perfect, because the back, he got a body armor, he's good. And he's like, little bro, run. And he told his little bro to fucking run and pushed him. And he turned. And of course, he had body armor, like better body armor right here to block. And he turned. He did this right here. They have a specific type of body armor. Like if you touch it, it kind of open about 3 to 5, about 5 inches this wide, pretty much, turn into like a shield, just in case you were caught at the wrong spot, like you were not behind anything and somebody has like a fucking AK or something and they're blasting you, and you're able to like put your body a specific way to block most of the shots. And that little shield is pretty good for like 9mm, maybe AK firing. But when you start getting into like the bigger, heavy military, heavy grade weaponry, that will still kind of save your life, but you need to get the fuck out of the way, because it'll break it off. It won't work. It won't stand for too long. So he pushes little bro and tap his hand, and these little shield thing popped up, opened up, And it's basically about this wide now because he's put them together, and blocking as he's bleeding. And then the little bro, he's like, run, run, run. And of course, little bro ran, and he dropped. The little bro was hiding behind a building at that point. He's looking and everything. And as they're putting, the cop is putting his foot on his neck. He's like, I'm about to die. I'm going to die if you keep pushing me like this. I'm bleeding to death and everything. And he was unconscious. And as this was happening, of course, the little bro he was just trying to call anybody. He accidentally called Putin. And Putin, just like I told you, he was at the wrong place at the right time. He saved Putin's favorite daughter from an explosion way back when and stuff like that. And him and his daughter was really, really good friend. And Putin give Marcus and Jonathan his actual fucking phone number. And he just was drowning, and he saw Putin. He fucking called anybody. And then as he was calling, he was running away. And of course, the cops were still kind of firing at him. He was gone by then. And Putin was like, what's going on? What's going on? And, and then he's explaining and stuff like that. And then that's when Putin pretty much linked them with North Korea, linked them with fucking China, linked them with Japan and all of that shit. Hey, look, these boys are under attack in America. What the fuck's going on? It turned into a fucking huge thing. I'm talking about snap of a finger. President of the United States got alerted. Fucking apparently Russia's military is getting assembled. Fucking China's military, Japan's military. Fucking like, what the fuck's going on? Are they going to war? What's up? They're getting alerted. They don't know what's up. And then he fucking went to little bro went to social media live, and he's talking about this shit, what's going on, what's happening and stuff like that. And then the president pretty much hit up whatever in the state that it was happening in. The president hit up the mayor of that state. So yeah, the state was Minnesota. And also, side note, I know occasionally it seems like I'm glitching is because I'm pausing the video and think my thoughts. I don't think I put that in the beginning. So that is why it looks like I'm glitching like that. But no, there's no glitch. Your computer's fine. The video's fine. Anyways, let's continue. So that was happening. It was in Minnesota. It was just a regular parking lot they were in. And fucking, and that whole shit fucking busted up. So the president fucking contacted goddamn the mayor of Minnesota, like, what the fuck is going on? Da-da-da, blah, blah, this and that. Hurry up, release. Bro, I'm talking about within like 13 to 14 hours, body cam got released, and they saw what happened. They saw the officer saw them in the parking lot fighting. And it looked like, let's just say, two people has the power and force of tigers or lions, and they were fighting one another. Boom, sliding back, coming fast as fuck, punching one another, ducking, doing all that shit, hitting the ground, and, pinning one another down like they're trying to kill one another, but they're brothers. And when the cop rolled up, whoop, whoop, and be ignorant to this cop. I mean, apparently he's the type of cop who don't really pay attention to social media. The whole world was pissed. And even America was pissed because kids now they're on social, because these two brothers, they have cell phones. They're on social media. They got YouTube videos of them running places and doing stuff, whatever. They know about these guys. They know them. Like, they're popular. They're constantly on they're constantly on every little platform you can tell, whatever. Granted, it's rarely people actually caught up to them to be able to, like, hey, you want to can I ask you a question? Well, how do you do this? Or what's going on? Blah, blah, for them to talk to people. That's the only thing. They never actually go anywhere to sit on somebody's podcast to just have a conversation. They don't do that. They're like, nah, I got to go work out, or I got to go do this. I got to go do that. They're always in the move. So they never actually got caught up to sit down with people, but they post plenty of videos, thousands of videos. People edit their videos to make fun of them, to, to do random shit with. So the world was freaking pissed. Fucking Russia demanded the officer's head, literally head on a fucking plate for him not to come. To be honest with you, that was just it's over beyond kind of an excuse for him and stuff like that. And Japan agreed with fucking Russia. China agreed with Russia. It was just fucking bad. This cop killed the wrong person. And the brother was crying. He ran off and everything. And then finally, they called the brother, the chief of, remember now, the chief of the clan. They're watching this. They're watching this. And the brothers, they know the procedure. If the clan need to run again, they will run. They will go under hiding and all that. But obviously, that's not what's going on. The world is on their side. They didn't do anything wrong because they don't carry weapons very much. The only time they are allowed to really use weapons is if you're being attacked. Yes, you can use your opponent's weapons and kill them with it or hurt them with it or something like that. That's the only time they really end up using weapons. Do they know how to use every fucking weapon in the book? Oh, fuck yeah, they do. Because remember, that is their main fucking thing. Training and being great fucking warriors. So, to come into a little close or whatnot, the world wanted these motherfuckers' head. Now, by that time, about almost 24 hours had passed. The next day come around, things needed to settle quick because Russia, China, Canada, all of them, they're assembling their army, nuclear weapons being armed and shit like that. Like, America need to settle this right the fucking now because this racism shit you got going on, the world don't give a fuck about it. But these boys, they looked at them like, these boys in this clan, when the clan come out, side note, I forgot to mention this, when the clan come out, the world, they signed a protection agreement for the clan. Like, leave them alone. Don't fuck with them. As long as they don't commit no crime, no stuff like that, they're not allowed to join the army. They're not allowed to join any sport activity. They're not allowed to be in any fight competition or anything like that. But they could do whatever else they want. Leave the clan alone. They don't fuck with the clan. Almost like American Indian, except now with them, since there were so few of them, they were protected by the entire world. And killing one, it's almost like going to another country and killing a prime minister or vice president or some shit. That's like almost World War level type of shit. It's very, very, very illegal, and don't hunt them down no more. So of course they were under protection, and this cop fucked up, killed the wrong person. That's the wrong people, you know what I mean? So they wanted this cop's head on a fucking plate. They didn't give a shit. They wanted to torture him and everything. Now the next day, body footage had revealed when the cop roll up, tell them to freeze, they stopped. They were like, oh shit. They stopped, put their hands up like they should, put their hands up, and the other one was like, hey man, it's okay. And the little brother was like, what the fuck? Why do you have your gun out? Like, we don't have anywhere. He's like, the moment he goes, he looks down. He wasn't looking at him. He looks down. He's like, we don't have no, and he's shaking his hand like this. We don't have no weapon. The cop was like, freeze, stop. And he squeezed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots at him. And the big brother, Jonathan, they saw it. I'm talking about like high speed movement, jumped in front of the younger brother and tried to protect him. And at that moment when he jumped, a corner, and they freeze frame it, a small, right when he's coming over, that small motion, a little edge right here at the perfect spot hit the brother. And that's one bullet actually got him, and that's where he almost died. And of course, they were watching the whole thing. He fucking pinned him down while he's bleeding to death. Hands down, little brother Marcus ran off, and Jonathan, hands down, couldn't anymore. They still shot 3 shots at his ass. 1 in the forehead. He knocked him back. 2 in the chest. Again. After after they shot him in his back like 5 times and he's bleeding, they shot him several times. And then when they were pinning him down, they were like, oh, wow, he had body armor. He's still alive. He's still alive. He's still alive. It's like they were trying to kill him, you know? Oh, my God. The world was even more outraged. They were like, what the fuck? And the world demanded that America change how they hire people, what they do for training for people. Because understandable, if like, for example, the brothers had stepped into a non-trespassing zone and a military soldier shot him like that and did that, that would be understandable. The world was agreeing with that. Like China said that, Japan said that. They were like, that would be understandable if, for example, even if it was one of my officers who, of course, Russia was like, I would have still punished him. I don't give a fuck. But other world was like, if it was my country he stepped into and something like that happened, that would be understandable. But he was in the parking lot. He was a civilian, and this is just a police officer supposed to be basically a glorified security guard for the country. That's all a police officer is. It's supposed to be a glorified security guard to protect in the country, not outside, within the country, the people from the people. That's what an officer is. Why, like, their hands was up, the other one was patting himself down. Where is the visual information before you squeeze the trigger? Long story short, Jonathan finally woke up. He kind of went in a coma a little bit because, of course, he almost died. He woke up and everything, and he noticed what was going on. He was watching social media, called his brother. His brother came to see him. His brother actually was so scared. And, of course, how they were trained, his brother basically snuck in the hospital dead of night, talked to him and everything, and his brother was there, whatever. And when they opened the door towards his brother, they pointed gun again. They just straight up pointing guns and whatever. And now his brother had weapons now. His brother had like a fucking, and Jonathan stood up, was like, stop. This is my brother. They didn't fire. Thank God. They had, now the security guard that they had was Russia. It wasn't American security bodyguards that was there anymore. The word they sent, Russia had a couple of his soldiers there. Japan, China they were the three who they wanted to guard the hospital. They were the one guarding the hospital. And when the little brother noticed that, he snuck into the hospital, and Jonathan was like, no, you have to let him know. Jonathan called, hey, look, just to let you guys know, my brother is here. And then all the officers was aware that the brother, Marcus, was there. Leave him alone. And, of course, when they didn't know at first, but when they called and they came in, they, of course, pointed a gun, they didn't shoot, because, like I said, it wasn't American soldiers or American police officers that was there, because the world did not give a fuck at that point. We needed these boys under our protection because you can't do that job. And then Jonathan ended up releasing a statement, talking to everybody, was like, look, it wasn't his fault and everything. The world knew. He was just trying to prevent a war. And he went to the thing and saying, you know what, thank you for the world for trying to protect me like this. And to be honest with you, my family is living in America and we do like it. We're not just in America anymore because of this protection. We're in Russia, we're in China, we're in Japan, we're everywhere now. And it is amazing. And I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the help. But right now, if a war break out, we know for a fact the Middlemist Clan would end up somehow, some way get back involved within it, and the rest of my people would be wiped out. He was like, please, if you do really, really love me, let's just, of course, the officer did something wrong. Let's just do the due process of when an officer pretty much opened fire in a civilian, unarmed, unprovoked, in any kind of way. Let's just do that process and do it that way. Punish him in accordance to the law, the right way, and just leave the rest of the world out of it. Because these armies, these people that you're sending over to fight, to do all these things, remember, every single one of them, just like you, they have moms and dads, they have brothers and sisters, cousins. Remember, they're not gonna come. They're 90% chance they won't come home to these families. So let's leave it at that. And pretty much that's how it ended up. A war didn't end up breaking out in America. Why? All due to one officer. One officer who is a glorified security guard for the people, from the people, decided to almost killed a clan that is protected under the world law of instinct humans, right? One left instinct humans left on earth that was protected under them. He almost killed one of them. That should be a lesson. Hopefully, and this goes out for even further up, like some other, somehow, some way, hopefully, in real life, for real, that we change the way our officers do things. I do not believe every single officer are shitty, but some of them are. Just because you have a gun and you got the badge, you're not a dictator. You bleed like I bleed. You got family like I do. You love your sister, your mom, your children like I do. We're all the same. Anyways, that's back to the story. That's how he apologized and everything calmed down. And everything ended in a good one. All right. This was really, really long. Thank you very much if you ended up listening to the whole thing throughout this. This story seems, I don't know, I think this was a really, really good one. Again, a like, thumbs up, thumbs down, or give me whatever, and subscribe. Leave some comment. Let me know what you think. What else? Also, if you want to go ahead and follow me on my Healthy Fat Guy page, it is healthy underscore fat underscore guy. Yeah, healthy fat guy. Healthy underscore fat underscore guy. All right. And on that website, I also have I have a link on there to Herbalife for healthy shakes, meals that people usually to have for breakfast, dinner, or lunch. It's amazing, to be honest with you. You can only if you want to, you can use it 4 days a week, once a day. And trust me, you'll still see some progress if you're working out. Like, you don't even have to be working out like heavy like that. Just doing some active physical activity movement and, trying to lose some weight, trying to eat better or change your eating habits or something like that. Or if you're the type who loves just having a shake real quick in the morning to leave, you can find it on my website, Healthy Fat Guy. All right, guys? Let me know what you think. And I don't know why, I feel really, really confident about this story. Hopefully you guys loved it the way I passionately felt about it. And also, I will be releasing story like that. And when I start getting a lot more comments and a lot more people watching, I do have one story that I want to put out. I'm a little about it because it is brutal. It is racist. It is genderfied. It is sexist, as you want to call it, whatever name you want to put out there. Because it target each of these people very brutally, and it is just brutal. And I don't know, with the world right now the way we are, I'm a little skeptical about putting it out, but I don't care even if they shut me down. I mean I'm still a nobody, so all right, guys, you guys have a good one. Appreciate it. Thank you for listening. All right, bye.